What's going on, guys? It's your favorite cancer patient. We're back. After chemotherapy, I get a break. It's a little tiring. It's a little obnoxious, but we are back, and I get a little behind on stuff. So if I'm not uploading, I'm catching up on a million other different things with my cancer treatments. Now, we just hit our short signal right here at 511.35. I'll get into that at the end of the video here, but two just massively beautiful trades here that we had set for the day. We'll come back here on the old X and see what was posted. And I showed everybody it's going to be a pop to daily gap and short. That was 2 hours ago. So I said it's going to pop into, and I gave you the levels already, right? So here's the short I posted. This is before market open, right before 8 a.m. or so there. And I said price action was going to go all the way up to 511.35. I circled it. I made a big short for you guys, so on and so forth. Short there, right? NQ or ES, whatever gets up there. And we also had a long. So I did another magnet long up here we'll talk briefly about, but a long all pre-market to a gap that had filled. So all these calls pretty much nailed up. We had another bottom tag call there. Picked up tons and tons of different ones. We had 3 more past Apex counts, so did 60 grand of just regular Apex there. Regular counts did a little over 7,900. So let's get into it. This morning, it all started off with our pre-market breakdown here on the Qs, okay? Qs had an algorithm here. It's a 1-minute candle that is directed on the giant wick, right? And it usually comes down near yesterday's close, and it gives us an opportunity of an algo blip, is what I like to see and what I like to call it. So I fibbed that out, right? And we played over under the gap tag. So we're going to go over a couple different instances, right? We pushed up towards the gap, didn't quite get it, but I made a call right here saying if we break inside our fib box, which is going to be just the high-low of obviously the algo candle, we were going to come down to the golden pocket. Okay. So I said, if we get under here, we're going to fail. We're 100% going to the golden pocket, hit the golden pocket. So step 1, short, pop into the gap and short. That is what I posted on Twitter. We did that in the morning, and now we're getting our bigger one right now. And the golden pocket, we said under this comes right back down. Then I said long it, and that long I just showed you for 60,000 green, just passing the bigger 300K Apex accounts. That was off this bottom right here. So I longed it right to the golden pocket, slammed them up here, and easy pass. And then I said it was going to go all the way back to the 100 fib. So once something breaks inside the 100 fib, we move to the golden pocket, which is above or below the 50. Perfect tag of the golden pocket bottom, and back to target number 1, the 100 fib. So I traded that, and we called all of that intraday for our members here in the Discord. If you do find value in these videos and want to trade with us live, which we do every single morning here, the links are in the description. Support me either through Apex Trading or join us at Boiler Room Trading as we stream this live every morning. So here was the next scalp, right? So like I posted on X way before it happened, 511.40. Right? So I said, long all you can down here. It's going to come back into the gap. And what do we know about gaps and algorithms? The first gap tag has a high percent chance, very high percent chance to not fill. So if I go to the daily gaps, right, like this, and I go, oh, okay, we got a gap, obviously, right? And the gap down from yesterday in that panic was bought right back up and jerked right back higher. And it will not fill today, which is a likelihood. So it will press into the gap, find a 50 fib or whatever the Fibonacci's do, and then come back down and relax. Well, we got the relax early, but it doesn't change anything as we just wait for the price action to hit our levels before we touch buttons. We had the 2618. So if you fib out just the gap, this is the daily gap in the gray, right? I fibbed it out to the downside. And if you notice, the downside fib has a 2618 extension bounce. So if this is our fib box on SPY, if we are underneath the 100, where do we go? First target 1618 like always, second target 2618, right? So boom, boom, 2618. That was the bottom of the market that we said to long, right back to the 1618, right back to the 100 fib. If we get inside the 100 fib, you guessed it, same exact scenario as we just talked about, long to the golden pocket. So again, the 100 fib and the 0 fib, here's our box. Here's our golden pocket. And the 50 fib, 511.35. That's why I called that short on Twitter at market open. So if we get a pop back in there, that is your short. I called the long all the way back up into the short, 80 plus points on NQ, and we had a monster day because of it. Now, I suggest and highly suggest that we will be leaving this open up here. I think we are going to stay under 512. I don't think we're going to fill this same day. So we pushed into it here, failed. We are pushing into it right now to the 50 fib and failed. And I think we're going to get some more accurate downside because of the VIX. The VIX told us this with its gaps. And again, the VIX right here, you see the daily gaps, and I'll go over this real fast too, and why these play out so clean. Look at all the gaps. We have a first gap tag, no fill. If a daily gap is created right here, right? Oh, my drawing tool is not going to work now because it's not overlaid on this box. It only works on the main thinkorswim. If it's a window for some reason, it will not work. So we'll do it on this one. So throw the VIX up here, back to the daily chart here. So these gaps right here are no gap tag fill first, right? So if we have a gap up, the first tag of this gap, wherever it may be, will not fill. That is the system that the algos like to run. Here's the gap, tag, no fill, right? Created a gap and go to the upside. Here's a gap that's untagged. What did we do? Chase down the secondary gap, just as we said. It could either chase down the bottom gap and no fill or the top. It did both perfectly. Came right to the bottom, no fill. Big support for VIX, downside, right? Huge upside for the VIX, obviously yesterday, and now we pushed into the gap again, no fill. So if we look at that on an intraday perspective, we have 0 fills pressing into that VIX daily gap again, right here, $15.10 top, $15.22 gap fill. Didn't get it, right? So what does that leave us to do? Well, we have an overnight gap and then a gap below us. So we have an untagged gap here and one that we already tagged here. So VIX either has two things to do: fly all the way back up to fill the gap because we won tag and then come back down to this one, or come back down to this one, let the market go long for the rest of the week, and then press back up again. I'm leaning a little bit towards the long for the end of the week through this gap, and then potentially failing it later and seeing a deeper pullback. But for today, for the rest of the day trades, and why I called the tops here, you will not fill this gap today, potentially. I mean, nothing is 100% in the market, but there's a very high percent chance that we will leave a gap up here, and it will top out prior to the 512 fill on SPY. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near it on Qs. I think overnight and everything else, Qs is going to get pushed back up into those gaps, so on and so forth. So that is it. As far as our anchor view apps were concerned today as well, just to touch on these, we did top-down anchors as well for the minute. So on the 5-minute and 1-minute charts, I like to do little top-downs here. I'll delete the big ones so you guys can see the easy ones here. So top-down on the 5-minute. Whenever we get an extension, I just waited for that pull. We shorted this out of the gate because that was the pop to short call, and then short into the middle. Once it came into the -3, right? That was your long zone. Happened on both of them. So from the top-down anchor view app, we had the third extension long, all the way back to the purple view app we called as well. And we did that one from POC here as well. So again, waited till the -3, consolidated above. I said, yeah, I'll probably hit the purple, and then +1, +2, right back to the jump zone, right back to the gap. And again, just using other indicators, stacking those on top of each other. If I have oscillation working for me, I have MACD working for me, I have volume working for me, profiles and gaps and Fibonacci's, the more the merrier, as you can stack on the same levels, right? So that gives you more conviction. So if I have the MAC now on the top channel here, we can take a peek at the oscillation indicators here. Slowly giving us a little bit of a razz, but right now we had some beautiful short calls. I don't think we're going to go over 51160, 51180 for the day. That'll be about the max top. I don't see us filling 512. Weirder things have happened. They can do whatever it wants to, but there's going to be a nice big short through the afternoon here, and it's going to be cut back down to most likely the 5-minute 666 moving average. So what I want you guys to pay attention to on my call here is shorting into the gap, right? Shorting up here, down to the 666 simple moving average, and that'll be your target. Okay, so big scalp coming up. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll get some more videos out before I go back on my cancer treatment on Monday. I will talk to you guys soon. Please trade safe.